Yes, folks, Angela Merkel epitomises everything that is wrong in Europe. In fact, everything that is wrong in Western democracies. She's a double-think hypocrite, like so many politicians in the West. She says one thing one day and does the opposite the next. In 2010, she was opposed to multiculturalism and demanded that immigrants integrate. Then 5 years later, she opens the door to over 1 million refugees. And now she's silencing any free speech opposing these immigrants that don't integrate, which she demanded 9 years ago. Anyway, hat tip to Alan Jolly for today's free speech video. But first, I'll play a couple of clips to highlight Merkel's hypocrisy beginning in 2010.
In Frankfurt, 2 out of 3 children under 5 years old have a migrant background. In the early 1960s, we brought the guest workers to Germany. Now they're living with us. We lied to ourselves for a while. We said they won't stay long, one day they'll be gone. But this is not the case. Of course, the multicultural approach, living side by side and being happy with each other, this approach has failed utterly.
Yes, multiculturalism has failed utterly, she said just 9 years ago.
That is why integration is so important. Those who want to participate in our society must not only comply with the law and follow the constitution, but above all must learn our language. They must know German. It must be given absolute value. This means that the demand for integration is one of our main tasks for the near future.
So that's why you let in over 1 million refugees, mostly Muslim, because they integrate so well.
As we reported earlier, German Chancellor Angela Merkel announced a deal to form a new coalition government. In the last election, she lost seats in parliament to the right-wing Alternative for Germany Party, or AfD. A big issue was her decision to open the borders to more than 1 million migrants and refugees in 2015. Now, with AfD, the main opposition party, Merkel is facing demands to step up deportations of young male migrants. As special correspondent Malcolm Brabant reports, that follows a finding that they are largely responsible for an increase of violent crime in Germany.
A brutal murder in Kandel, southern Germany, has placed the country's open-door immigration policy under intense scrutiny. These marchers demanded protection and security for women and children after a 15-year-old local girl, Mia Valentine, was stabbed to death by a young Afghan asylum seeker.
Yes, they integrate so well, don't they? Yeah, so how does Merkel counter the AfD and others who are opposed to the mass immigration of the wrong people? Well, she silences them, of course. We have freedom of expression in our country. For all those who claim that they can no longer express their opinion, I say this to them. If you express a pronounced opinion, you must live with the fact that you will be contradicted. Expressing an opinion does not come at zero cost. But freedom of expression has its limits. Those limits begin where hatred is spread. They begin where the dignity of other people is violated. The dignity of other people is violated. So she's mainly speaking about Muslim people there. They are the only ones who feel violated. They are the only ones who don't integrate very well. Yet she demanded integration just 9 years ago. This House will and must oppose extreme speech. Otherwise, our society will no longer be the free society that it was. Yeah, now folks, these were her last words. This House will and must oppose extreme speech. Otherwise, our society will no longer be the free society it was. Well, that's a contradiction in terms, folks. She's silencing free speech in order to create a free society. In other words, stopping freedom to create freedom. Try and figure that one out.